Hello viewers, we finally have some more information about the upcoming Forza Motorsport game, which is coming out later this year. They've released this trailer alongside a dive into the career mode. So in this video I'm going to go through both of those, show you all the information that you need to know and give you my thoughts on it as well. So firstly, this trailer released a couple of weeks ago kind of shows you a quick glimpse of lots of the different features of the game. We just saw the Eagle Rock Speedway, but we'll touch on that in just a moment. Then you see, of course, the Chevrolet Corvette E-Ray 2024 car, which is on the cover and undergoes a bit of a tuning process, an upgrade process, which is going to be a key component of the single-player career mode. In fact, you could argue the entire game. Eventually, after all of this, you get to the release date, and there it is, October the 10th, 2023. So we are just a couple of months away now from the release of this game. And that might be somewhat confusing because on this showcase from last year, the release date was spring 2023. Then they changed it and said only 2023. And now it's October, but now we do have a confirmed date. So let's firstly go through the tracks that feature here. At least the tracks we know. This is Catalunya at the beginning in the Cadillac, another of the cover cars. Then we move over to the other cover car, the Chevrolet. And this is around a new track we've not seen before, Eagle Rock Speedway. In fact, if we pause it at the correct moment, we can actually see that confirmed. And there it is, you can see Eagle Rock Speedway. It looks like some sort of oval with perhaps an infield. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Just looking at the shots they give you here, it doesn't really give you much information. It's hard to tell if there is an infield on this track. But it certainly is a new track that we've not seen in Forza before. Now, if you go on the official website, they have given us some information here. So there are 20 locations in total, 5 of which we have never seen in Forza Motorsport before. So they list out 12 tracks confirmed, Catalunya, Le Mans, Spa, I mean, you can read it. But there's a couple which we haven't seen in Forza. So Hakone, we've never seen before. Kyalami has not been seen before, nor has Mid-Ohio. So there's 3 tracks there out of the 5 we've not seen. And then of course we have the Eagle Rock Speedway, which we've just seen in the trailer. So that's 4 tracks we've never seen before. So I've just shown you this beautiful Word document I made. We have these 12 tracks here which I've confirmed, 3 of which are new. Then the one we've seen in the trailer, again a new track. So that's 4 new ones. And interestingly, right, here are 23 tracks which were in Forza 7 but we have not heard about yet for Forza Motorsport. So 13 tracks are essentially confirmed so far, leaving 7 more spaces. And I'll be amazed if they didn't have Nürburgring, Sebring, and Monza, even somewhere like Lime Rock. That's kind of a staple of the Forza series for me, at least. So I'd imagine that at least 4 or 5 of these tracks will reappear. And then, of course, the 1 extra that we have not heard about before. And for those wondering why there's only 20 locations when Forza 7 had 33 locations, it's mainly down to the dynamic time and weather. Every track in the new game has dynamic time, dynamic weather, rubbering in. So basically the tracks are a lot more alive and dynamic. So presumably a lot more work has to go into each track, so they can't do as many. But if it means we don't have to race around the Bernese Alps or Rio de Janeiro, then I'm all for it. Quickly take a look at the cover of the game. This is the Cadillac Racing V Series R on the right, and then on the left at the back we have the Chevrolet Corvette E-Ray 2024 car, interestingly, and both feature quite prominently in that first trailer. And it kind of sets the tone for the car list, really, because both of these cars, well, one is a race car, fully fledged racing car, one is, you know, a sports car, road car. And again, if you go to the website, you see this Forza Motorsport initial car list. You can see a list or a portion of the 500 confirmed cars, or over 500 in this game. This isn't all of them, but there is a good mix. I think they're just basically trying to show you a rough mixture of what's available. And there is a lot of racing cars. There's a lot of racing cars there, and there's a lot of sports cars, a lot of road cars. So it's a good mix between the two. The Celine S7, always a go-to car in Forza Motorsport. Some new cars, the 2023 Lotus Emira, the 2020 Koenigsegg Jesko. But then, of course, loads of race cars. I'm seeing lots of numbers here. So number 3, Chevrolet Corvette. You know, let's not forget this is a motorsport game. It's got it in the name. So seeing actual race cars is always a very welcome sight. And allow me to touch upon this, the additions of the game that you can buy. So with the standard, you just get the base game. With Deluxe, you get the base game plus the car pass. And then with Premium, you get both of those plus a race day car pack, VIP membership, a welcome pack, and early access. Early access is the 5th of October, so you get the game 5 days early. Over here, you have the Premium add-ons bundle. So if you buy standard, then you can just get everything that you'd get with Premium. But you might as well just buy Premium, I suppose, in that case. So the rest of this trailer plays through. You've got a couple of tracks, Suzuka here, for example. Lots of visuals with the elements off the track. Spa, of course, as well. Le Mans. And there shows a couple of different pit stops going on. Some animations there in the pit lane, which is interesting to see. And then, of course, the release date once again. That then brings us on to the second trailer with Chris Sasaki and Tyler Hennessy giving us a run through of some gameplay of the single player career mode. So the single player in this game is going to revolve around the Builders Cup. Now, it doesn't look too different than what we've seen in previous Forza games. So you essentially join these different series based on the type of car, the country it's from, that kind of thing. But how the career mode is built up or constructed is definitely a bit different than before. And the words that Chris Sasaki uses in this trailer, quite a fair amount, is level, build, dominate. So it's really about buying a car that you like and upgrading it and working with it over time. Just take a look at this menu quickly. We can see there's different tours: modern, enthusiast, power, legacy. And then within that, you have subcategories: practical performance, built for sport, super sedans. It then goes into one of these spiels about yeah, we all love our cars and here's some cars and we're going to race them. And I'm sure you get the gist of that. So he's chosen the built for sport section. Then you get to this menu where you can decide the difficulty. AI is on a slider from presumably 1 to 10. 10 being the fastest, and you will get more credits based on how fast you make the AI. And then there's a rule set bonus. This is kind of familiar with what we've seen before, to be honest. It's not too different. On the hardest difficulty, you'll have simulated damage, fuel and tires, which is interesting to note. And then this bit is quite interesting. Just before you jump into the race, it's quite an important part really, because it kind of shows you the real ins and outs of this new Builders Cup. So within this Built for Speed championship he's chosen, the maximum car limit is PI 700. So that doesn't look like it's any different. PI 700, which is the top of A class presumably, that is I think the same as Forza 7 and a B class car, which his current car is 546 rated. There's some other details to note as well. Car level, this is really important and we'll touch upon this in a moment. You rank up your car level. The more levels you go up, the more you'll be able to improve your car and buy upgrades for it. And you buy upgrades with CP or car points. Again, you'll earn these as you use your car, as you drive it, as you win races, as you corner correctly, that kind of thing, and overtake. You'll earn more car points, which you'll be able to spend on upgrades.
Currently, the max level of cars is 50. Okay. And, you know, it takes around a couple hours, maybe 3 hours, depending on how well you drive, to reach that max level.
You see there, this car's level 19. Chris Sasaki saying there, it takes maybe 2-3 hours to get to level 50. So for those that are thinking maybe this is a bit too restrictive, I don't think it would be too bad. I think you're better to pick a car, you're better to race for it for a few hours, and you're better to unlock everything. I don't think it's going to be too restrictive on that front. But moving to this race, they race here at Kyalami, and we get to have a bit of gameplay. So it's always good to see some gameplay. And for each race that you do, there's like 3 different sections, if you like. The first of which is this, the open practice. So you jump into a couple of laps, and you see there's some objectives just below me here. Required, complete 3 laps, and then bonus, complete a lap in 2:13.2. And then at the top right, you can see the car level. So as you cross the finish line here, or the start line to begin a new lap, this is where the car mastery begins, where you're ranking up your car from level 1 to 50. You see there's some lines across the track. So the game will essentially work out how quickly you should be able to get from that line to this next line, and then it will judge you based on that. And as you can see, segment score 9. Good segment, plus 25 car XP, then personal best. So it's going to grade you based on certain factors, not only how quick you go, but also overtaking other cars and things like that. Now, I was just thinking about this. I was thinking, will this get boring over time? Once I get into the 50th race of career mode, am I going to be bothered to just do 3 laps against AI on my own? Maybe, who knows? Like, it's hard to know until you really play the game. But I think it's something different, and you know what? I quite like the idea of, you know, picking a car you like and then just going with it for a while, and you know, trying to upgrade this car, trying to improve it over time. We do flick through a couple of different cameras here, so you actually upgrade to level 20 there. But they do pull over here, so you get a look at a couple of the different angles. He is using a controller, by the way. We don't know how this game is going to play out on a wheel. They showcase a bit of the dynamic time here. So I'm guessing this isn't in real time. I guess he's just sat there and they fast forwarded through the video. The lighting looks pretty good, you know, and then of course we have some weather, we have some rain. Going to change the conditions that you race in. So that's something you're always going to have to look out for in Forza Motorsport, which I think is really cool. The game's going to feel a lot more alive compared to Forza 7. So I'm just wondering about open practice. Is it going to get a bit boring over time? But I don't know, maybe you can skip it, who knows. After the open practice, you then get to this, challenge the grid. This is where you decide where you're going to start on the grid. So to note, there's 24 cars on the grid, so it's a pretty healthy amount of cars on the track. But I find this section quite weird, to be honest. Like, why they couldn't just have a qualifying mode. They always seem to shy away from qualifying in Forza for some reason. And I was just wondering about this mode. Again, over time, will it just become a bit sort of, you won't even think about it, you just go whatever, I'll start at the back, and you won't even really think about how many credits you're getting. I don't really know. We'll have to see what the economy looks like in the game. It's an interesting feature nonetheless, but I think for me personally, I'll probably just start somewhere towards the back just to make it a bit more fun. And then you can change some of these settings here before you then jump into the race. We then jump into the race. We have a quick little fly through the grid so you can see who's there. And it does tell you the temperature, 73.2 degrees Fahrenheit on this occasion. And I suppose as you play the game more, you're going to have a better understanding of how that's going to feel on the car. And then you can look through all of your opponents. Perhaps it's interesting to note the performance of each different car, but also, you know, the tyres they're using, fuel, 0 laps. I don't know exactly what that means. Have they not fueled their car at all? Who knows? I don't know what that means. And after all of that, we eventually get to the race. So it seems quite a long process to eventually get to a race, but we'll have to really see what it feels like when we actually play the game. And maybe, you know what, maybe it will be really fun just ranking up your car and seeing that level just tick up on the top right of the screen there. Now, they talk about AI here, and they're saying that it's sort of machine-like learning. And, you know, that's always good. So it's going to feel not so artificial racing against the AI. And, you know, the fastest AI will be as quick as the fastest players. So there will be a challenge here. There's no question about that. The only thing I'm worried about with AI really is how intelligent they are around each other. So you see here, like, they're kind of taking a weird line. But then again, it's not on maximum level. It's only on level 4, I think he chose. So if on level 10, it might be much better. They might race a lot better. Because I've always found that AI are a bit rubbish when they're close to each other. Especially in a big cluster at the start of the race. They don't really know how to race properly. So just like before, they're going to skip to the end of this race. He got first place. We can't be sure whether or not he punted everyone off to get there, but who knows. So then we have this results screen, which is pretty nice. Gives you all the information you need to know. Shows everything pretty tidily, I would say. But here is quite interesting. Actually, he skipped through the race, so his total race time was 2 minutes 25, whereas everyone else was about 9 or 10 minutes. So without a doubt, this guy is hacking the game. And important to note as well, we have the invalidated lap marker, the infamous exclamation mark in the triangle. So I'm guessing that works on the same basis as the old game. We'll have to find out. We don't really know at this point. And then you have a secondary screen which shows you the championship standing. So these are SP series points, I'm presuming. And as the races go on, you're upgrading your car, and I'm guessing your opponents are upgrading their car as well. And just on the note of the exclamation mark, which is the dirty lap invalidator thing, I'm just seeing here if there are any invalidations. And normally when you're in the slipstream of a car in front at over 100 miles an hour, it gives you an invalidation. At least it does on the old game. But here he just went over 100 miles an hour in the slipstream and didn't seem to invalidate the lap. So it would be interesting to know exactly how that works, and I think they do avoid contact, so he doesn't actually really get an invalidation during this gameplay. And then after that, you go to this podium, which had weirdly bad graphics on this board on the back here, which is quite interesting. Then we have the funky podium presentation. Before moving to this screen, we have a driver level, which we've always had in Forza. So your driver level 4, car level 22. Shows you your credits and car points that you've earned for this event. And then for this, they unlock a bunch of different rewards, so different car parts for reaching car level 20 and 21, which you can then install on the car. And they just go through this quite quickly. You see the different sections of upgrades: fuel and air, engine, platform and handling, tyres and rims, drivetrain, and then aerodynamics. So in terms of buying the upgrades, you're going to be using the CP, the car points, rather than credits. So it's something a little bit different to think about. And this looks like the main menu. Let me just move myself out of the way over here. So you can see race, cars, driver, media, store, settings. It looks like quite a basic menu. But again, it's not the final build, so we don't really know for sure. So 2 trailers, fairly informative. They are going to be releasing other information further down the line regarding multiplayer and all the other modes. But my thoughts on the game, like, what do I think? Because I have high hopes for this game. Forza 7 was out in 2017. By the time this game comes out, it'll be near enough 6 years of a gap. So they've had plenty of time to try and get this right. There are some things which I really like, which are the sort of edging towards more of a motorsport game with different tyre compounds and things like that. There is a race engineer, which was touched upon in this first trailer, which I didn't really actually go into. But a general movement towards more of a racing game with tyre compounds and fuel use and rubbering in of the track and dynamic time and weather. These things are really cool. On the other hand, however, I am probably not seeing enough like real innovation or something completely new. It's more of things we've had before, but just more detailed. That's what I'm seeing. So more detailed tracks, the cars look more detailed, slightly more car parts and things to buy, less tracks but more detailed, but yeah, nothing really screams to me like, wow, this is, oh my god, this is a must buy. It's kind of just like, it's another Forza game. That's what I'm seeing so far. Having said that, I really want it to do well. I love Forza, I've always loved it. October the 5th, I'm going to get the Ultimate Edition, Premium Edition. I want to really give this game a good go. I'm really looking forward to it. I have high hopes for it, but I don't know. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know what you think, because it'd be interesting to know what everyone thinks about this. But so far, it hasn't really screamed to me that it's going to be like a 10 out of 10. But we'll see with the upcoming trailers and the upcoming information. Look out for the Forza monthlies that they're bringing out. But anyway, guys, October the 10th, I'll see you on the grid. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Goodbye.